Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Taler Duel between AbysalKJ playing as 16th Belgian, and he's going up against Gucci Gang Hots playing as a 101st Airborne Division. So we'll go through the map, the matchup, the deployments and the game, but first the deck reviews. Right, so this is the deck review for Gucci Gang Hots. It's pretty similar to his one from last time, but there are a few changes. So this is the one from last time. Right, spot the difference. Spot the difference. It's further away, right? But they're very, very similar. Basically, the only thing he's changed is he's removed the CV. So this he had too many CVs, so he removed one and got some more. One more helicopter, more or less. I think that's the only change I could spot. So yeah, we'll go through it tab by tab. There are a couple things I wanted to bring up. So first things first, 2 cards of supply for an airborne div. That's very sensible, particularly if you're turning off the fuel and stuff. In terms of the options, this is way better than this one because it carries 200 more supply for 5 more points. This used to be good because it came with Chinooks, and then you could just buy 20 Chinooks at the start, which was really, really dumb, let's face it, but it was very funny. Basically, people would pick 101st in 10v10, buy 20 Chinooks, and just throw them forwards to spot all the FOBs. And then they would kill all the FOBs at the start. It was very, very humorous. I've just realised I've left my window open. I need to close that. Actually, no, it is closed. Well, I wonder where the draft's coming from then. That's weird. I'll just edit that part out. Obviously, we have very high production values here on the Hippie YouTube channel. So, yeah, 3 per card. Humvee CV, don't get the helicopter CVs, they're really not good. Infantry, so the infantry CV option is, so you've got some choices here, right? You can get these guys, who are 12 men, and they're like mega strong against infantry and stuff. The main issue is they get bombed like straight away. Or you can get these guys who are 12 men with a flash, so they're even better against infantry, but they're not special forces, so they're not as fast. And they don't have any anti-tank. And then these guys who are 60 points for 9 guys with AT and smoke. But yeah, these are the most fun to use. It's just that they're all bomber magnets whenever... This one's only got 3 guys in it. It's got 3 availability, but it's only got 3 guys. Next things up, he's not brought an MP Patrol M67, which I think is a big mistake. So for some reason they don't get the Humvee MP. Not sure why. But the recoilless rifle I really like. I think it's very good at shooting people. And then, yeah, 9 infantry TOW2s is a mistake, basically. You want a maximum of 6. And what you want instead, because like this div really struggles to kill infantry, because the way infantry works in Warno is that infantry doesn't kill other infantry as fast as anything else in the game kills infantry. So you want this. Comes at 1 vet, 15 points, and this will really mess up enemy infantry, and you get a lot of them for quite cheap. 12 per card at 1 vet. So yeah, you want that for your anti-infantry. In terms of the other options, right, so we got some big chonky squad, and then these guys are good because basically you put them on flanks and stuff, and if somebody comes by, you just whack them with an AT4. So they're nice flank defense. Whereas, you know, this wouldn't stop a vehicle. Air rifles, dragon, okay. You might want to consider 2-vetting some of these. Like, how much infantry are you really bringing? But, you know, like at the very least, like, try putting that one at 2-vet. And then if you find you needed more infantry after a 40-minute game, well then down-vet it. Because you're only losing 2 availability, though. This is a really nice unit, and I think you should bring it. I think it's very good because you get 12 of them in a card. They're not very fast though, which is a shame, but you can just send them down roads and on the side and stuff, get them behind people and mess them up. The only issue would be where to put it. So maybe you can do without. Arty, so he brings the 81mm in the Chinooks. So I remember bringing this up last time. I mean, it is what it is, really. He wants lots of Chinooks, but it just makes your mortars really expensive. And then, yeah, 155mm towed, because there's no self-propelled option. It is what it is. Tank, so this is the normal way of doing it. You bring all the meeps, and then you bring the Humvee TOW2 card. Most people do that. So you got 2, 5, 7 CVs, which is fine. Recon tab, so I think there's like too much here, to tell you the truth. Like, how many infantry recons do you need? This is very silly. You've got, 6, then the snipers, then the scouts. Well, you've already got plenty of infantry. I think you can do without this one, to tell you the truth. 13 guys with only 4 laws, interesting. So what you can do, right, if you want to use lots of helicopters, is you bring this instead. So, because this one's got Hellfires on it, but it dies so easily that I tend to just bring this one. But if you bring in both, yeah, you can bring this, and then you bring this because it's got 40% ECM, it can survive a man-pad hit, right? Anything up to, like, a Cub will one-shot it, okay. But it's what happens is you send this in front of your Apache, and then the man-pad hit, and it scouts for the Apache, and if the man-pad hits this, well, it's fine, but usually it'll miss. And that keeps your Apache alive, and you can send it in front of this one if you want, but, that's obviously its own recon. You sort of need to bring the Chaparral. The Pivads is more anti-infantry, so you might say, well, I don't need this, but you definitely don't need 9 infantry TOW2s, so... and this can go in a building, this can't go in a building, this is also twice as fast, so and this div really struggles with anti-infantry fire support, because these guys, they don't come in IFVs or anything, right? You're not got any grenade launchers, so yeah, this is a nice card, actually. Yeah, Pivads, and then the Stinger should be brought in the Mule with the 50 cal, so that you've just got a bit of anti-infantry, basically. Helis, so we got the Apaches out. It's 2-point slot that'd be 3, because some people like to bring these, but basically you buy all 3 at the start of the game and then they start dying. Like, they can be quite useful at the start because they'll stop early airplay if you micro them properly and have them over your units with maybe a couple ground-based AA as well. It can work, but super slot expensive. I don't rate it here. So, Apache ATAS, I mean, it's got the Stinger, but generally you just bring it because it's got a gun and Hellfires, right? And then this one with the many Hellfires, they all cost the same. Like, I don't know, I prefer the rocket one over the... I think I've changed my mind on this. Because, yeah, 38 Hydras isn't much, but 16 Hellfires is a lot. You're gonna fire... Well, I mean, there are instances where you will just fire all those, because they fire and they just immediately start flying off into space and missing and stuff. The little birds I don't think are very good at all. I think they're really overpriced for what you're getting. And I'd prefer 2 heavy hogs instead. But yeah, you can buy all 6 and what have you, but they're really quite expensive for what they are, this. And then the DAP... which is nice because it comes at max vet with special forces, which means that because this is just the Apache gun, but it's 2 per card, and it's got super high accuracy because of the max vet and the special forces. So yeah, and then air, so 2 cards of Eagles and a Phantom Bomber. This thing is really cost efficient for the price, so a lot of people bring 3 cards of fighters. And a bomber. Well, you should have the bomber, because what if the enemy has a breakthrough? What are you going to do? Send a little bird. Okay. But, yeah, I like having the bomber. Sometimes you just need it. And, yeah, this thing is super good. So a lot of people run Eagle Phantom, because it's so cost efficient. But the Eagle is better. It's like, 85 points more or whatever it is. Anyway... Switching to his opponent's deck, we've got AbysalKJ or something, and he's playing Belgium, and if this is 1v1, like, don't bring a FOB in 1v1, you lose too much momentum at the start, you're going to lose. Yeah, don't bring 4 howitzers in 1v1. If you really want to do this, you just upvet these and have 2 upvetted ones, and you should be putting a CV next to them anyway, so they get 2 vet, and then they fire really fast. This mortar goes 3,500 meters, which I think is an absolute travesty. This one goes 5,625, which is why he's brought that. You do have to pay 15 more points for it, and you get 2 fewer availability. So I think it's better to bring this one, which has the higher caliber. So this has airborne forward deployment. Okay, are you airborne forward deploy Humvee mortar rushing? Maybe you are, in which case go for it. But no, I think this is better because the higher caliber makes the smoke a bit better, basically. I mean, it aims slower and so on, but the smoke clouds themselves are bigger because the caliber's bigger. So I prefer this. I mean, you could go for this if you want. If you actually are doing an airborne forward deployed rush and you need smoke, well, this is obviously the best option. Or you buy this because it can just shoot from spawn. I used to try running these, but basically, if you have recon, the corrected shot just makes them miss everything. Sorry, it makes the smoke circle really tight, and it's kind of hard to... There is a button you can press to stop it, but you can't really queue up the orders and stuff properly. So going back to the infantry, so yes, 2 cards of Milans makes sense. Instead of the 50 cal, I'd bring the MAG, but I mean the 50 cal can work. I just think the MAG is better because you get more of them. They've got the same HP. They go a little bit less far, but they're literally half the price. I know you have to buy the transport, but they're literally half the price. Yeah, so I'd be bringing that instead. Don't bother with 2 cards of reservists. A problem that 1 card of reservist can't solve, 2 cards isn't going to solve, so 1's enough. And then what that lets you do is bring the extra card of mech fusiliers at 2 vet, because you want these at 2 vet, and it's because of the way they nerfed autocannons was they reduced the accuracy. So if you look at this, it's got 65% chance of hitting once in a salvo length of 5, whereas this is 81. Okay, it doesn't sound like a big difference actually, but in practice you'll see that they do a lot of damage at 2 vet. And these guys are really nice against infantry because for 40 points they get 3 machine guns. But the infantry AT is terrible, which is the trade-off there. The Milans, 2 cards of Milans makes perfect sense, but you want them in the Milan ATGM transport so that you get 10 Guerrillian Milans, basically. Because if you want I need an ATGM fast, that's what the Humvee TOW 2 forward deployed is for. This, I don't really rate it. I don't see the point in it. If you want a good AT, you bring the reservists. And, yeah. Wait, where's the... Right, I mean, you need a bit of airborne forward deployment infantry at the start in 100-kilometer transports. These guys are nice, but they come in 90-kilometer transports. I like bringing them in the helicopter, because then they're airborne forward deployed in what is actually a really fast helicopter that can survive a manpad hit. So you can get to some pretty crazy places at the start, but you do have to buy some fighters. This deck's a mess, man. Anyway, so I'm sort of skipping around a bit there. But yeah, this, I don't really rate it. I would rather have this in the helos, right? And then you do need some ground-based airborne forward deployment, and I'd just bring the Fusiliers and the Humvee, which goes at 100. And they're, you know, airborne forward deployed guys, right? And so that's what I'd have instead. Yeah, and then, like, Pioneers. What happens if you're in a forest and you need to kill somebody? What are you going to do? You can spam mech Fusiliers, but satchels are really nice, basically. This Halfa thing is not good. Don't bother with that. I have seen people bring it, but well, it's not great, man. It's not great. It's really quite bad. But yeah, I prefer the regular Pioneers. And then, yeah, RT we spoke about. That's a 2-point slot, right? So we probably are going to need to down-vet this and get rid of that so we can have 2 points for later. Just put a CV next to it. The tank should all be at 1 vet. Don't bring them at no vet. The instead of 1 card of these, you can bring the JPK 90 at 2 vet's actually really nice. Because it's got mediocre stealth and it fires at 12 rounds a minute. And yeah, it's really not bad on the defense and stuff, so that can be worth bringing instead of one of these. You'll notice it's half the price. Just a thought, right? If you don't like it, take it back out. And then, yeah, okay, the Striker can work. I prefer more of an air tab heavy approach because that's a 3-pointer and, you know, could get another plane there. But yeah, the Striker can work. It's just, yeah, I mean, it can work. Recon, so I don't think you need 2 cards of Eclairs. This drone's really nice, but there is a bit of an overlap between the drone and the Alouette. So you don't have to bring both. Also, I think it got slower. Not entirely sure. Was it 200 before? It's really slow now. So yeah, it's one or the other. Pick one, basically. And then, yeah, Scimitar, this guy, and then you've got some recon for scouting and stuff, and, you know, you can up-vet it if you want them to be fighting. If you just want them to look at people, then I'd keep it down-vetted. Also, this has the blinder side, so if you need, you know, more AT, you compare this to that one that I had in before. So, obviously the one on the left, it's the Uzis, man, they make it crap. Because the SMGs don't fire at the max range, right? They don't have an MG or anything. The one on the right is a lot better as far as squads go. So yeah, if you wanted to fight people, I'd up-vet it by 1, and then you've still got 10 infantry recon, which is probably enough. AA, so yeah, you can do this if you want. You need the VADs to shoot infantry, so, you know, lose 1 basically. If you're gonna do the double man pads, I'd up-vet that, and then you can down-vet this and get the VADs. VADs is really nice against infantry. Wait, I mean, it's basically the same argument we had before, right? So yeah, you can up-vet this one if you want. But it is kind of nice to spam it. And yeah, you need the VADs against the infantry, man. You can't play without that. Helis, so this one has twice as many TOW2s. Why? The TOW2 fires really slowly. If you don't kill them in 4, usually the enemy's sort of woken up by then, or you're dead. So I'd get this one. It's cheaper, and you get 1 more. Air tab, so you need 2 cards of fighters on this div because your anti-air's crap. And yeah, you know, you can... I mean, I wouldn't up-vet this if you've only got 1 card. I prefer the minstrels over Gepard spam. Personally, I just spam out all the minstrels first. Because the Gepard, like, it's nice when you're pushing over an open field or something, but these guys, they've actually got the same range. And they're cheaper, right, because they're transport. And they've got exceptional stealth, whereas this has bad stealth. And this will die in 1 hit. So, well, it's got 3 armor and smoke, but anyway. Yeah, so that's 2 AP left. Which is a shame. So maybe come back here and, you know, you can add, if you really want, you can add something here. I don't see where else it would go. So 3... Oh yeah, only 5 CVs. Get a forward deployed CV. It's nice to have at the start. Especially if you end up on 2 legs duel or something, you can just buy 2 of these at the start. You tend to win a lot. So yeah, that's it for Belgium. It's actually a pretty decent div. It was crap when it first came out, but some geezer decided to play 60 games of it and get it smacked into shape. Some spanner played 92 games of Belgium in ranked. Who knows who was crazy enough to do that. Anyways, right, so with that out of the way, the Belgian player has made some interesting decisions, as you know. We'll find out how many games he's played at the end. But yeah, he's got a FOB. So... a FOB and 4 howitzers, which is weird. In terms of the map, I mean, it's fairly symmetrical. Most of people spend most of their time just fighting here, but I mean, you can attack anywhere. It's a really nice map, actually. I like it quite a bit. I don't know which side is stronger. I prefer the red side because you can put an ATGM in here and it can shoot all the way down this road, whereas blue, they can put somebody in the forest, but it's not the same, right? And this can't see all the way down there, so... Yeah, I prefer the red side. Also, these buildings are on this side of the road, so I feel like red gets first. I'm not 100% sure on that. And red gets this here. So yeah, I prefer the red side. Having said that, you know, Alpha's easier to defend than Bravo, because there's a big big openness here, whereas in Bravo you get up to this forest and then you know, basically in the enemy zone. Yeah, on this side, who knows? Need more games on this map. In terms of the matchup, Belgium is better than 101st Airborne, I think. Basically, you see a lot of Belgium in the... I'm just getting my tier list up that I've been working on. You won't be able to see it, but... Man, I want to do the recording for it, but it's going to take me like 5 hours, and it's like, should I wait for the next DLC to come out? Because then it'll be invalidated, and I'll have to do it again. So, I don't know, I'd say they're pretty similar, actually. Say they're pretty similar. I just saw in the tier list I'd put them both on the same tier. Belgium... 101st is harder to play than Belgium. Not because it's worse, but because you have to use the mobility, and you have to do things like using smoke to get your infantry in close, whereas Belgium is just forward deployed into Leopard 1 spam, with IFVs backing them up, and like 10 million ATGMs. So, yeah. Yeah. In terms of like between them, Belgium's definitely easier to play, because 101st, you got to use these helicopters, and if the helicopters die, then you just commit Sudoku, right? But the advantage of 101st is really, yeah, you can be like hypermobile, get around everywhere. The deltas are the fastest forward deployment in the game. So that's pretty cool. So looking at the deployments, we've got AbysalKJ opening with the ESRs. So I bring these in the helo. He's just misclicked and sent one all the way back here, which is a shame because that's the middle one. It's kind of important. Yeah, so airborne forward deployment. He's taking quite conservative postures, probably because he knows the Delta are faster. So yeah, he's being quite conservative with them, because these only go at 90, whereas this transport goes at 130 kilometers an hour because it's max vet special forces, and that gives you a 30% speed bonus. And then regular eclairs for this building. I mean, I'd put them here, really, and then you can see down the road, right? And try and get like a JPK-90 there, which he hasn't brought, or a Striker, or a Leopard 1 or something. No Humvee TOW 2 forward deployment, right? Because you can just send that down the main road. And actually, this guy will have to stop because a TOW 2 will shoot him. So, yeah, a Humvee TOW 2 down here at the start into the forest is going to be pretty useful. So, bit of a mistake there. And then a Scimitar taking, like, super defensive postures here. Minstrel and Milan 1 for Foxtrot. He doesn't bring the Milans in the funny Milan transport, which gets you loads of ATGMs. So, Foxtrot, Charlie... No CV for the right, which is fair enough, really. So like this, basically you'd want one going like Alpha Charlie Delta and one going Foxtrot Delta, basically. Charlie's, actually, it's important to cap Charlie at the start because it's a +2. So yeah, maybe Charlie Alpha and then Foxtrot Delta. So yeah, I think he's done the right thing, actually. And yeah, so Recon Helo, Gepard for mid, spoke about CV. Double Minstrel. He's really expecting a heli rush, isn't he? But that's not how you should play 101st. And a Leopard 1 and a Gepard. Switching to his opposed deployment, we've got the Delta Rush. So basically you bring 2 in the max... I didn't really point this out in the deck review, but I say it a lot. You want 1 card of these in the max vet Special Forces Humvee, because it goes at 130, and then 1 card not, so that you've got, you know, more for later. So, yeah, he will get here first, even if this wasn't completely spazzed out. He would still get here first, I think. Just depends like on the auto cannon rounds. But yeah, if there was a forward deployed Humvee TOW 2 coming down here, he wouldn't be able to do this, because it would start shooting him. And TOW 2s have very high accuracy, so you have to unload unless you want to risk losing it. He's got one coming to here as well. One on the left for Alpha. And then we've got CV, Air Rifles Dragon, TOW 2 looking, yeah, spoke about this at the start. Really nice building, that. And Pivhads. Then on the right, another Humvee Delta. CV for Golf Echo Delta. And then presumably he's going to buy another one for Bravo. And then a tank and Pivhads and a Humvee TOW 2. So let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest levels with 2,000 views in ad revenue equivalents, and they're the guys keeping the lights on, basically. I mean, I appreciate you all for watching the video. But yeah, the channel revenue, which is my sole source of revenue, about 3/4 of it comes from the channel joiners. Ad revenue on YouTube's just crap, basically, unless you get like 1 million views or something. So, as you can see, the deltas have got pretty far, but he's probably going to die here because there's just like way too much shooting at him, especially with the Scimitar there, so he needs to run away, really, and he's doing so. Yeah, the FOB purchase is like Could have had, you know, another Leopard 1A5 in mid, basically. And yeah, the Delta just sort of trying to push everywhere and basically just getting nowhere. This guy's not actually in the forest, so he's taking additional damage. Both of these have the full sniper rifle, so it's not a DMR, it's a full sniper. So that makes them pretty powerful. And yeah, another CV purchase for Bravo. So basically, yeah, you'd expect 101st to be winning at the start because of the forward deployment. Although, you know, so he sent the CV to Golf and it didn't cap. So that's empty now, which is not good. So now he's sending it back. Okay, I guess this can go Bravo, Delta. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he sent this through here and it just wasn't in there long enough, so it didn't cap it. So you'd expect 101st to do well at the start, and then over time it's just going to lose more and more stuff to, you know, Leopard 1 spam, basically. Like 101st, the bigger the map, the more effective it is. But you got to fight in the forests, and this map is cut out for that. But in the open, he's going to get smacked. The thing is, he's got Leopard 2s, Tow 2s, which can one-shot the Leopard 1s. So yeah, he's trying to rush some reinforcements in here now, including a Tow 2 and an AT4. We'll see if that AT4 makes it in time. And, you know, don't be afraid of transference. Like, there's nothing happening with this. Why not send it over here, cover this flank, right? Or even back here if you want to be a bit safer. So, will the AT4 get... Okay, he's unloaded it. And then will the Tow 2 get one shot by the Scimitar? Yeah, he's probably going to lose that. No, it gets in. Okay. So, yeah, the Meep coming all the way around. Like, he could have put it here and, you know, whatever. So he gets the Scimitar. The Little Bird, I think this should be a bit cheaper, you know. 75 points for that. I mean, what? Just flings the Eagle over 2 Minstrels and a Gepard. I guess he didn't know that they were there, but, I mean, that should happen, basically, even though it's 40% ECM. I mean, just flew right over a Gepard and 2 Minstrels. So, yeah, you got to be careful with these things. Another Little Bird goes down there. Yeah, he's got to pick his battles, basically. I'd set up one defensive unit here and focus on this. So what he can do is, you know, this Tow 2, right? You can just put it there or something. And so he's got fire support here, so you can get some infantry here and try and run up into this forest. Because he knows there's nothing here that can shoot him. But yeah, red is on the +1, but this is looking pretty challenging. And late game, you know, the 4 howitzer FOB moment is probably gonna do quite a bit if we get that far. But yeah, generally, 4 howitzers not really a good idea in a 1v1 because that's like 4 minutes income on just artillery. Generally, there aren't that many targets. Because you'll notice he's bought them, he's not actually fired them yet. So, you know, he might as well have, from when it first fires, that's when he should have bought it. As soon as you buy it, it should be shooting at something. If you don't have a target to shoot at, you shouldn't be buying the artillery. It's as simple as that. Imagine if instead of getting these, he'd had 4 more Leopard 1s. Right? That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, this Tow 2's got to, you know, figure out where that's coming from and then hide, basically. He's put it on an attack move order. And now, yeah, so he's clocked that, okay, I can get over here, but to avoid it. He's still going for that building, I don't know, I'd be running away at that point, because you got 1 HP. Try to get the fire team AT4 forwards. Okay, so he's put the CV next to it, which is cool. He's buying a lot of CVs. And yeah, he's got a target, so as soon as your ACGM shoots, you need to move buildings. Especially if it's a Tow 2, because they're really expensive, so it's always an arty target. But generally, any ATGM team, or any infantry team, as soon as the combat ends, or even during the combat, you need to move it to the next building, because you will be artilleried. It just makes sense. It's just a sensible thing for your opponent to do. So, pretty expensive unit to lose that. It's like 95 points or something. It is, it's 95 points. It's a nice unit, though. And in the deck review, we spoke about how we should have had the MMG teams, and I think this is a good showcase of that. If we had an MMG team here, these guys, there'd be no risk of them coming over. He's running forwards with his 5-man AT4 squad there. It's not looking good for that AT4 squad. He's very dead, as is most likely the Humvee. Just too much blue infantry here. Needs that recon up, really. And he's got a Meep, he's got a Humvee tow too. So this is pretty locked down, right? He's got the pivots there as well. And yeah, he's just got to keep things moving because he's going to keep getting artilleried. There's now 3 howitzers. So he's reversing. Should make it out. Going to take a bit of damage. This does have 3 top armor, like the T-72. And yeah, the advantage of the Abrams, along with everything else, is that it's got 3 machine guns on it. So it's actually really good against him. If you see, this guy was at 6 HP, now he's on 2. So, Humvee tow 2, okay, gets a kill. And the sniper's shooting, which means he's going to get artied next. Looks like they're going for the tank instead. Eclairs have been spotted, and the Humvee Delta will engage. At max vet, this thing actually does quite a lot of damage. The 50 cal. And yeah, I don't know, he keeps running over these fields. You know, obviously you can't see what we can see, but... so the Meep. These are really fast as well. The Meep a little bit slower than the, like, M1A1, but... And yeah, I guess he needs to get some recon into here, because this can't engage that. More infantry coming in. But yeah, 101st Airborne, like, pushing over an open field and getting shot in the open is not really where you want them. You want to be fighting in the forests, so, like, he has this position, I'd defend it, and then I'd come attack over here, because this is the forest, this is where you're strong. Get one of those Green Beret leaders, couple stingers, you know. If you want to take it over the open, you put a Meep here, but, you know, you just use the forest, so you just come around and whack them all. Make sure you got a bit of AA, and you can just move in that way. But instead he's coming over here, which is... Obviously, I guess he didn't know, because he can't see what we can see, but... This is just an open field, and there's no, you know, fire support for these guys, so... So, the Meep makes it. I think there was something else here, you know. The last patch broke this, so it just doesn't show the kill list anymore, which is a shame. Yeah, there were those Aero Scouts, 10-man squad. 4 howitzers and a FOB, eh? So what this means is that Red should have, like, a massive unit superiority, because, you know, one of these is one of those, so he should have a lot more units. This needs to run away or it's going to die. He's bringing the pivots up, but he really needs to get this out of here. It's only got 1 HP. And yeah, so he's brought some stuff for this. The advantage of the 50 cal is that it shoots further than the MMG, and in some cases that matters. This is one of them. In general, I prefer the MMG. So yeah, the Meep needs to move. It's not moving, so it's going to die. And yeah, I mean, the advantage of the 4 howitzers is that, well, if all the rounds come in at once, you really don't have much time to react. So it's just a case of, you know, not having your stuff exposed. Once it shoots, move it, right? You got this back, so that'll probably survive. Getting his own howitzers in now. But yeah, you see how much more stuff Red has, but he's not moving it, so they keep dying. Because these keep killing them. You gotta make sure you turn off the fuel on these, otherwise you spend all your... Look at that. It's lost half its supply to giving this guy's fuel back. I appreciate it's been doing other stuff at the same time, but... And, yeah. So he's moved now. So, okay, that pivots can't really move, let's face it. It's like 9 kilometers an hour or something, so... But yeah, this is, the idea is that, so if Red can make something happen here, then this wasn't worth it. But if you don't sort this out fast, this is going to start paying for itself, and then it becomes a good idea. And this is why talking people out of decisions like this is so difficult, because they'll be like, well, it worked for me, I had a 40-minute game, and if you're against you know, like a more experienced player, they'll notice this and they'll just push you, like, as fast as possible. They'll push you. He's going for the counter battery there, but he has to move his stuff and his opponent doesn't. And yeah, he's losing a lot of units to this arty. The meat went down to the double leopard ones, I guess. The Kiowa, whatever, Kiowa. It's Kiowa, so I need to remember to say it wrong. Kiowa. Gepards make short work of those, right? In general, 16th Belgian, pretty good against that unit, because the Minstrel can get it and the Gepard can get it pretty easily. Yeah, this is looking not great for Red now. Like, at all. He's just lost too much to this arty and stuff, just not moving his guys, and just attacking in the wrong place, really. I mean, this big open field, just walk over the big open field doesn't make sense, really. Unless you're going to smoke mortar it, which I guess he's going to try doing now. And so you want to fight around the forest, right? Use your strengths. Use your strengths, which is the forest fighting. You get better infantry than your opponent. And then, yeah, if you're fighting in the forest, like the Dragon 2s and stuff, actually become really useful. On this map, Dragon 2s are really good. You see this, right? Can cover the whole thing. But, yeah, there's a lot of infantry, and, yeah, it's not ideal, really. I do think Belgium's probably pretty good against the 101st Airborne, because they get their own airborne forward deployment, and they also get, you know, a bunch of IFVs to deal with the infantry. See the units going down there because they didn't unload them. So they can sort of negate the forward deployment, and they're really good against helicopters because they get the close range fighters for the anti-helo, and they get the Minstrel and the Gepard, which are two of the best anti-helo in the game. So, yeah, probably the best two anti-helo in the game. Ground-based anti-helo, the Minstrel Menpad and the Gepard. Obviously you could say like the Dutch Gepard, the Cheetah is slightly better, but, you know, still a Gepard, right? So, the Meeps, as you can see, they two-shot the Leopard ones, so they are better. They also cost twice as much, so... But yeah, he's two-shotting them. You just got to be careful with the micro, because obviously... And they will 10-shot him. So, you just got to be careful with the micro, make sure you don't get side-shot like the one that was here that died, because you don't have as many. Your opponent can bring a lot. So yeah, the Aerofire team going down there. It's not ideal, really. But yeah, 101st, the main thing is, you know, like the helo deployment and stuff, the mobility, the mobility. You can get around with the helicopters, right? Come and attack over here, fall back, come and attack over here. It's hard. It's really hard using helicopters, so 101st, I think it's a good div. It's just really hard to play well. So, okay, so he's moved. And yeah, the ground surveillance radar really lighting up these targets for the arty. So Meep will make short work of another tank. You'll notice he brings them on no vet, which is a big mistake, really. But you can't just hang out, right? You gotta stay moving, because like this will be the next thing that gets shot. So he is counter batterying, and you see, you know, Killjoe here. He's noticing. He's doing some noticing. So yeah, the air rifle dragon's pretty good at dealing with these guys, but I mean, like, he's just, this isn't cover. This is, but like none of this is cover. I know it looks like it, but it's not. So you're just running over an open field and getting shot. I understand that the game doesn't really give you a good viewpoint of that, but that is what is happening. So bomber coming in for the tow too. I mean, typically if you're 101st Airborne, you should have an Eagle out by now, like patrolling ASFs. Especially given that that's the second time he's seen a bomber. He's bought the Chappie. And yeah, just quite a precarious position here. Not sure what happened to that What happened to that meep? It must have died. There was one here. It wasn't this one, because this one we saw before it was going to get arted. So where'd it go? So yeah, the meeps, you really got to keep them alive. And it's this kind of situation where those MMG teams I was talking about in the deck review would just be super, super handy, because you just put like one here and they're not going to cross there, one here and this guy dies, one here and this guy dies. Cluster coming for the meat now. It's not enough AA really. Oh, just none there. Generally you use your fighters, like the Eagles would absolutely rinse these, and they'd rinse the F-16s, and they can't really be touched by the Belgian AA, so he needs to buy a meep. He needs to buy an Eagle. Keeps losing his meeps, which is a shame, because they're kind of what he needs here. Like, this is the worst part of the map for 101st Airborne to be fighting because it's just nice and open, and, well, you get shot. Whereas, like, even somewhere like here, you know, you smoke this, and then you get a bunch of that good infantry in, and you just come and kill all this. But he's fighting in the open. He's basically playing it like it's a normal div. At which point, you know, should just play 2nd Panzergren or something. Because, yeah, if you want to play 101st, it's all about using the helicopters, which is hard to do at the best of times. Against this div, it's very difficult. And move like this is good, but you know what's the plan for it? You know, you need a Stinger with it because of the bombers and stuff, and this guy should be, you know, coming around here and cutting the reinforcements or something. He does keep trying to counter battery this, but as long as his enemy's paying attention, it's not going to work. Losing more guys in the transports there, just not fantastic. And yeah, just like sending guys in to get shot. So there goes another one. There goes another one. These are Toad 2s as well, so they're really expensive. Yeah, it's not fantastic. It's not fantastic at all. So, yeah, like 3 chappies, you know, 1 Eagle instead of these 2, because then then you don't have to put AA here as well. And what do you know, here it comes, and you know, the Eagle could be in position, but the chappies, they're not going to get there in time. There was a chapper out here, I'm pretty sure it died. So yeah, they don't shoot. Now the Leopard 1A5s are coming in. Yeah, this is looking really, really bad for Red. So he basically had his guys here, and he was like, I'm going to run across this field and die. And that wasn't great. And now he's got very few units left. And killing the Leopard 1A5s is quite difficult. So here we go, Apache out, because yeah, his opponent hasn't brought up any of the AA, so this is a good idea. As you can see, the Apache one-shots these. That's nice, isn't it? It's quite hard to use it, but you like that, because look, the minstrel hits you, he's got to run away right now. As soon as you get hit, you got to leave, because otherwise you're going to die, right? Using the howitzers to, you know, counter battery the enemy howitzers does reduce their fire output, but he's not actually moving these, so if the enemy tries counter batterying him, he's going to kill him. And yeah, you always, when you've got a Apache out, you need either AA in front of it or a fighter up, so he's got the AA. And then, yeah, you need a supply as well, because it's going to get hit, and then you need to buy a supply for it, so you might as well just get that as soon as you buy it, because it's going to get hit if you're going to use it. And yeah, those little birds just not really working out. So the Law M72 here is enough, right? Those 2 side shots. Yeah, tough using your helos against this sort of thing. So the Green Berets ODA, they're doing a bit, but like they need to keep moving or they're going to get bombed. So what he's going to do is he's just going to bring this here, and then he's going to call a bomber on it as soon as he can see it, like he did last time. And yeah, Red just getting pushed back further and further back. Doesn't have good anti-infantry, and his anti-tank keeps getting killed. Like, the Pivads is nice, but yeah, those MMG teams I think are a must-bring on this div. So yeah, on this side, not too much happening. Right, Abyssal's got around with his ground surveillance radar. Send it in this way if he wants to. I do think this is much more defensible than this, because of this sort of forest connection here. And Vito 2 going forward to get shot by the reservists. And yeah, so he's retreating the CV now. And the Pivads probably kill a lot of these reservists, but the Leopard 1s are going to get it. And yeah, Belgium with the crap spam. Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. Just depends who you're against, really. These kind of semi-light divs are really good at dealing with 101st Airborne. But if 101st Airborne goes up against like a heavier div, it's actually got a really good chance. Like, you know, 5th Panzer or something. Because the Apaches kill all the heavy tanks, right? But yeah, Belgium just got really good anti-helo. And that's the main advantage of 101st. It is a helicopter division. It's the only helicopter division in the world, something like that. The only air assault division in the world. The VDV guys sort of do a bit of everything, right? So the Apache's actually on the ground here, so that's going to probably get RT'd as well. You can see it because of the Minstrel, I guess. So yeah, Green Berets ODA, they're pretty good against reservists and so on. But there's just so many of them at this point. It's not looking good. So, +1 for blue. And yeah, this is going to die now. So the issue with the helicopters, they're very hard to use, very hard to keep alive. Against some divs, they're pretty good actually, because, you know, divs with bad anti-helo. So, 1st UK helicopters are good against 1st UK, 4th UK, not 2nd UK because of the SAS. And these guys, they got to keep moving, right? So he spotted that. He's been spotted, so he needs to keep moving or he's going to get bombed. Oh, what do you know? I don't watch these ahead of time, it's just obvious. So there he goes. And yeah, I just don't see what red does at this point. He just doesn't have the units. He's trying to pad things out, but he keeps sending stuff in past units and they keep blowing them up with the anti-tank. We'll see the KD at the end, it's going to be pretty unfortunate. One thing I'm surprised by is that blue hasn't bothered to counter-battery these, because they've not moved the whole game. I'm pretty sure they're just on automatic counter-battery. Or at least one is. Green Berets ODA should kill this lot, no problem. Unless they get bombed again, right? The chappies are back here. CV retreating. But yeah, I think he's out of Meep Abrams. Because he only gets 4... Well, he's got 2 CV ones if he wants. And so killing the Leopard ones is just down to the ATGMs. And that's not going to work out, because... Where do you put them? So yeah, here's one of the CV ones. Like, when he's here, where do you put the ATGM? The Humvito 2? I guess you could put it there or something, but... This is quite self-contained, so, you know, it's hard to hit these guys. You'd have to, without being in tank gun range, so yeah, you could come up to here and shoot, and that would work. So we'll see if those reservists mess him up there. He's decided to come out here a bit. Okay. So yeah, the Green Berets could just run into this building and kill both of those Leopard 1s and the reservists, because they've got 8 AT4s. So I'm surprised he's not going for that, really. And yeah, the Meep should kill... Look at that, he one-shots them in the side armour. He smoked there. Not sure why, he hadn't been shot. Guess the Milan... There we go, so he's finally counter-batterying that. So, last 2 Meeps are out, and they're both the CV tanks. But basically, Red's got to start winning some of these. Like, this guy, if he just needs to go in there and just kill guys, because he knows these are here. So if he sends this forwards, he'll be getting side shots on them, and he knows they're there because they're shooting at him. Yeah, it's not ideal. And, yeah, we didn't see a single eagle all game. Like, there we go, he got that CV next to it, right? Upvets it a bit. And then he's moving them, which is smart, because... It's a shame, you know. I mean, oh, he's going in. Okay, no, he's not. I mean, at this point, it probably wouldn't work, though. I think there's too much there. Another thing is, you know, you use the smoke. Like I said, 101st is really hard to play. I wouldn't say Belgian's particularly easy either, but sort of just much more straightforward. You just buy all the ground stuff and win. Whereas 101st, you have to use the helicopters, and helicopters are hard to use. And you gotta use this like mega infantry and hope it doesn't die, which is also quite difficult. Aren't these 4 per card at 2 vet now? If they are, it should be at 2 vet. It used to be 3-2, and I think they're 4-2 now. I might be making that up. If they're 4-2 now, it should be at 2 vet. Because, you know, losing 2 availability is not really worth it. That's exciting. So here we go, Smoke's coming out. And yeah, he needs to sort this out. Like, I mean, he's not even fighting the infantry. Needs to get some supply up for all these low guys. Yeah. Okay, interesting. It's a shame, really. As soon as he sent it in, he's going to get artillery. So he needs to move it back now. He did move this guy who was on 3 HP, but I don't think it moved far enough, or maybe this Gepard killed it or something. So yeah, the Green Berets ODA will absolutely delete the reservists. Yeah. So basically, you know, once you've sorted this out, you want to smoke here next, right? Like here, basically, so that the fire support here can't shoot you as you know, get your ground back. Get some supply behind so you can keep the guys resupplying. These guys just need to constantly move because they're always going to get shot by RT or planes because they're 14 guys. Yeah, I think he is bringing him at 2 vet. Because we saw one here before, if you recall. He came in and got blown up. Might have happened twice, actually. I think it was a different unit that other time. But yeah, this is pretty rough, man. I mean, this just isn't how you play 101st. If you just try and play lane brain with 101st, you're going to lose. Because that's not what your division is made to do. Your division is made to use the helicopters and stuff, like the helicopter transportable special forces. You're supposed to, you know, leverage that. You get loads of Chinooks, right? So you can save them all up, fly them out over here with an Apache, right? And then the Minstrel shoots the first one, and then you kill the Minstrel, and then the Helis kill everything. You keep the air superiority with the Eagles, right? You shouldn't be losing stuff to bombers, and then, you know, the helicopters, because then he's going to buy 3 Gepards and run them down this road, so then you send it back, and you send it round the side. It's not an easy division to play properly. And then people play it like this, and they, you know, I don't know if this is happening in this case, but people will play it like this, and then they'll say, wow, this dude's really weak. Just because they're playing it wrong. You can't play it like a normal dude, because it's not a normal dude. Anyway, he knows these are here, so I'm surprised he's not sending the Delta forwards to, you know, shoot all these guys, but they're coming to him, it seems. And yeah, he's, like, there should be attack moved onto that, he would kill them all. He would kill them all with, you know, rear shots and so on. But he's just hanging out, letting them walk away from him, and now he's going to get bombed again. Still yet to see an Eagle. Double jet for the Apache, yeah. It's not great. So yeah, the little bird's probably about to get picked off by the Gepards. He's just bringing it around here. And yeah, red just took so many bad trades. You see all the blue on the map, right? It's just way more blue. Like, if this guy really wanted to, he could just send 2 leopards over here and take this as well. He's trying to do it with infantry. Reservists by themselves. So yeah, this is... Oh, he's looking pretty over to me. Looks like he's going to keep fighting for a few minutes, but I don't see what you do, really. There's... Obviously, you know, when he was playing... So if you look at this, he doesn't actually know, right? But from this perspective, and his opponent won't know either. But from this perspective, you see, you know, there's just too much here. There's just too much here. Nothing can be done. So yeah, trying to get the air rifles in, but basically he's dropping off the helicopters too close. If that was at 2 vet, it'd kill him. See, he's not really been spending his points here, just buys a whole card of mech fusiliers. General advance seems to have been called. Green Berets might get back in briefly. I mean, the Gepard's going to shoot him, so maybe not. You can sort of come down here and use this to cover yourself there. Dragon 2 getting a kill. The last Meep coming in. Smoke being used, presumably to cut off the enemy fire support, but you know, I mean, it sort of makes sense, but there's nothing here really. So yeah, I think the CB got in here very briefly and died. Air rifles dropping on top of the zone and getting shot. The Meep's gonna go down. Oh, there's still a Meep. I was wondering where that got to. I thought it died. More reservists coming in. Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. So, you know, credit to him playing till the end, but just like constantly sending helicopters where the enemy AA is, it's not going to do much. Last CV goes down there, so... Yeah, it's not ideal. Like, he's trying to smoke and get the stuff in. Like I said, he can't see what we can see. He doesn't know how much is there. But yeah, it's not ideal. So here you go, he's sending something around. Like, you know, that's what you should be doing constantly as this division, especially if you're going to do things like bring TOW2s and Blackhawks, bring infantry and Chinooks and stuff like that. You need to use that. If you just play it as a normal div, you're going to lose. And yeah, you see the kill difference there. Most of it was like towards the end, right? So this guy's had 5 games, and this guy's had a few more. So yeah, it's tough. This div is just not easy to play at all. If you're on something like Black Forest, you can really make it work, but you can't play it like a normal div. It's sort of like 6E in a way. But this one's even more unforgiving because helicopters in this game are so difficult to use. And there's just so many things that could kill them. And the Apache's 1 per card. And the jets that you can throw at the Apache are at 2 or 3 or 4 per card. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, you saw like when the Meeps were in position, they were really killing the stuff. But for the most part, that wasn't happening. Yeah, do let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. GG.